Dr. Hamid, a qualified medical professional from Dhaka University, Bangladesh, and later a member of the Royal College of General Practitioners in the UK, faced allegations concerning his conduct towards a male patient during a consultation at the general practice around September 14, 2018. The General Medical Council alleged that his actions were sexually motivated and included inappropriate touching. The patient reported the incident to the practice in May 2021, prompting a call from the practice's managing director after reviewing a recorded conversation. Despite Dr. Hamid's departure from the practice, no internal investigation was conducted, leading to a subsequent referral to the GMC. Dr. Hamid's career spanned various roles, including a period as a salaried GP at the practice from February 2019 to December 2019, with prior experiences as a locum GP at other medical centers. He is presently employed at the Avenue Medical Center in Slough and the St. David's practice in Feltham. It is alleged that during the consultation, Dr. Hamid engaged in various inappropriate actions, including placing his leg between patient A's legs, touching patient A's knee and hand, stroking patient A's upper arm and knee, sliding his hand towards patient A's groin, touching patient A's thigh, tapping patient A's penis, and making concerning remarks. These actions are said to have been carried out without patient A's consent and are deemed to be sexually motivated. As a result of these allegations, Dr. Hamid's fitness to practice is believed to be impaired due to misconduct. During the proceedings, the GMC presented witnesses, including patient A, who gave both in-person and supplementary testimony on October 31, 2022. Other witnesses included two friends of patient A, providing video-linked testimonies on November 1, 2022. Additional evidence was provided through witness statements from individuals who did not appear in person, which were operational manager at the practice, and managing director of the practice. Dr. Hamid, the subject of the hearing, presented his own witness statement dated August 11, 2022, and provided oral evidence. Witnesses on Dr. Hamid's behalf included his wife, testifying in person, and multiple colleagues, providing video-linked statements. There were additional witness statements that collectively contributed to the testimonial evidence considered by the tribunal. The tribunal considered various documentary evidence presented by both parties during the proceedings. This evidence encompassed a range of materials, including a clinic letter from the Cobham Day surgery dated November 30, 2018, detailing aspects of patient's medical history. Additionally, the patient's GP records spanning September 14, 2018, to March 27, 2019, were examined, along with extracted portions from their medical records from September 14, 2017, to September 14, 2018. Furthermore, an audio recording and transcript of a telephone call between patient A and the practice on May 7, 2021, were considered as part of the evidentiary analysis. In its approach to determining the facts, the tribunal adhered to the principle that the burden of proof rests on the GMC to establish the allegation, with no requirement for Dr. Hamid to prove anything. The standard of proof used was that of civil proceedings, focusing on the balance of probabilities. The tribunal was guided by legal precedents in its assessment of witness credibility. It considered that the credibility of a witness should not be based solely on demeanor, but should be evaluated in light of objective facts and independent evidence, as highlighted in Regina, on the application of Dutta versus GMC. The tribunal acknowledged that the credibility of a witness could be divisible, as demonstrated in Khan versus the General Medical Council. The impact of the passage of time on witness memory was recognized, and the tribunal made allowances for potential changes and confusion in recollections, drawing on its own understanding of how memories can fade. While the tribunal could draw reasonable inferences based on reliable evidence, it was cautioned against speculation and was required to exclude other possibilities before making an inference, as outlined in Sony versus GMC. The tribunal took into consideration Dr. Hamid's good character while determining the facts of the case. Although good character doesn't serve as a defense to the allegations, it carried significance in two respects. Firstly, it supported Dr. Hamid's credibility, influencing the tribunal's assessment of his testimony, and secondly, it could suggest a reduced likelihood of him committing the alleged acts. The tribunal was entrusted with the discretion to weigh the value of good character evidence, factoring in all information presented about the doctor. It was emphasized, however, that while character evidence was pertinent to credibility and propensity, its significance should not overshadow the primary focus on evidence directly linked to the alleged wrongdoing, as established in Martin v. Solicitors Regulation Authority. The tribunal considered character references and testimonial evidence on behalf of Dr. Hamid, recognizing their role as supplementary elements in evaluating the overall case, even though they didn't directly address the allegation itself. Sexual motivation, as defined in Basson v. GMC, involves conduct pursued either for sexual gratification or with the intent of fostering a future sexual relationship. The tribunal noted that allegations involving sexual motivation carry significant gravity within the regulatory context and require compelling evidence. Such motivation necessitates a distinct intent on the doctor's part, distinct from carelessness or negligence, as underscored by Aaron Calavanan vs. GMC. While direct evidence of motive might be absent, sexual motivation can be inferred from the surrounding circumstances, with character evidence being pertinent. Inferences should be drawn from a comprehensive analysis of all facts and behaviors, with behavior itself serving as a significant indicator. If there is no plausible alternative explanation for overtly sexual conduct, the tribunal may reasonably conclude that the motivation was indeed sexual. The tribunal carefully examined the evidence regarding the reporting of concerns by the patient to the practice in May 2021. Patient A's statements exhibited inconsistencies, particularly concerning the timing and details of the alleged incident. Patient A initially referred to events occurring approximately 2 to 3 years ago, with a specific mention of a rectal examination. Despite providing detailed descriptions later, patient A's recollection of attending specific medical appointments within the given time frame was vague and clouded, likely due to the passage of time and the multitude of appointments. The tribunal observed that the identified appointment on September 14, 2018, with Dr. Hamid was based on broad parameters provided by patient A, without further corroborative checks. Patient A's account of the consultation's details was limited, and there was uncertainty regarding certain aspects. Given these factors, the tribunal found insufficient cogent evidence to definitively establish that the correct appointment had been accurately identified. The tribunal assessed patient A's account of reporting the incident to the practice. Patient A indicated that he contacted the practice a few weeks to a month after the alleged incident involving Dr. Hamid, seeking a call back from the directors. He aimed to address the matter informally without making an official complaint. However, no evidence was found of a telephone call from patient A's numbers in or around September 2018, as indicated by the practice's records. Patient A's mobile phone records indicated a call to the practice on November 1, 2018, which he believed to be the call requesting a callback. Patient A acknowledged that his recollection of events around this time was unclear and vague. While he mentioned the possibility of visiting the practice in person, his recollections remained uncertain. Patient A emphasized his certainty about the incident occurring but was unsure of the exact date. This uncertainty contributed to the tribunal's challenge in identifying the specific date of the consultation in question. The tribunal evaluated the evidence presented by witnesses who were friends of the patient regarding his discussions about the alleged incident. Ms. N stated in her witness statement that patient A informed her of the encounter over the phone, without providing specific details about the doctor involved. Patient A's conversations with Ms. N were reported to have occurred on several occasions over the years. In contrast, Mr. B's testimony confirmed that he had a single phone conversation with patient A about the incident, during which patient A appeared uncertain and nervous. Patient A later claimed that he and Mr. B discussed the matter at a local pub house. The tribunal observed inconsistencies and confusion among these accounts, with discrepancies in details such as locations and frequency of discussions. Patient A's recollections seemed to evolve over time, and his memory appeared influenced by the information provided during the investigation. These inconsistencies and uncertainties cast doubt on the accuracy of patient A's recollection and further complicated efforts to pinpoint the exact date of the alleged incident. The tribunal thoroughly examined the credibility of Dr. Hamid based on his witness statement, oral testimony, and testimonials. Dr. Hamid's statement emphasized his shock and lack of recollection regarding the patient's complaint, asserting an unblemished career history and his commitment to professional conduct. The tribunal considered testimonials from colleagues that praised Dr. Hamid's methodical and professional approach, highlighting his transparent communication, reassurance to patients, and adherence to appropriate examination protocols. The tribunal took note of Dr. Hamid's detailed consultation notes, which documented the rectal and abdominal examinations, his offer of a chaperone which the patient declined, and discussions of surgical options. Despite minor discrepancies in Dr. Hamid's recall of patient interactions, the tribunal found his overall evidence consistent and credible, supported by positive feedback from colleagues in his clinical practices. No prior complaints against Dr. Hamid were evident, and his clinical approach appeared aligned with professional standards. The tribunal expressed reservations about the reliability of patient A's identification of Dr. Hamid as the doctor involved in the alleged incident. Patient A initially lacked knowledge of the doctor's name when reporting the concerns to the practice, and the only identification given was specifics of Asian origin and possibly Indian man. The tribunal noted patient A's vague parameters for the appointment, which led the practice to identify a specific consultation that fit the description, even though not all details corresponded accurately. Patient A had difficulty recalling the appointment's date and was unable to remember other medical appointments during the relevant period. The tribunal found it concerning that patient A did not positively identify Dr. Hamid as the doctor in question and instead relied on the practice's identification. Given the lack of concrete evidence and the potential confusion among appointments, the tribunal questioned the reliability of linking the alleged incident to the specific consultation on September 14, 2018, and the accuracy of the doctor's identification. The tribunal acknowledged that patient A did recount experiencing an unwanted incident involving a doctor touching his hand, arm, leg, and penis, and that patient A had shared this with friends shortly after it occurred. The tribunal recognized patient A's trauma and acknowledged that there was no apparent motivation for fabrication or animosity. However, the tribunal emphasized the passage of time and the potential for memories to fade or become confused. Considering the inconsistencies in patient A's recollection, the tribunal was not confident that the incident, as described, took place on September 14, 2018, or involved Dr. Hamid. As a result, the tribunal concluded that the entirety of allegation was not proven. The tribunal has determined that the specific allegations against Dr. Hamid, involving his interactions with patient A on or around September 14, 2018, were not proven. The tribunal did not find sufficient evidence to support the claims that Dr. Hamid's actions were sexually motivated or carried out without consent. Consequently, the tribunal concluded that Dr. Hamid's fitness to practice is not impaired based on the facts presented in this case.